Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to K4CO Radio. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have a very special guest today. We are bringing him live, streaming him in from all the way from Arizona, which is very cool. John, thank you so much for being here. You can hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored that you guys would have me on here right now.
You've been amazing. It's been such a great friendship. So this afternoon on good old Cinco de Mayo and your wife's birthday, we have a lot of cool stuff going on today. We have John joining us again from Arizona with D4Ward Marketing. And we've been talking with him about how absolutely unique and special all of the services that you offer. And I was even just talking about your own personal website, how unique it is. You move the cursor over and it looks like you're floating in water. So it's very cool. My crew is laughing at me because I love stuff like that. That's really unique.
Yeah, we wanted to try and touch on something that was a little bit different and a little bit unique. And like I was just telling you, I woke up at 2:00 in the morning, had a vision in my head, and lo and behold, my developer was able to do it. So I'm glad that everyone enjoys it. I hope there's more to come.
For sure. This is why I know you and I are kindred spirits in many different ways. But I am emailing my boss usually, midnight, 1 a.m, going, hey, I have this crazy idea. You know that your brain won't stop with the marketing ideas when it's, let's try something new.
The wheels start in motion.
Exactly. Well, tell us a little bit generally about D4Ward Marketing. I know that you have a lot of different services and products that you offer, but tell us how you started D4Ward Marketing and kind of the general aspect of you.
Well, it kind of started as a side gig. A friend of mine used to run a managed service provider, an IT company, and saw a need for sales, someone that could do sales for them. They're IT smart, but they were not smart in sales. So he got me into, setting appointments for these companies as just a side business. And I saw a need for marketing, and I used to do marketing long ago. And I have a lot of fun doing marketing because my mind just works in a weird way of seeing things in my head that might look unique and different. And so I started presenting some of those unique ideas to some of the managed service providers. And then before I knew it, I had a lot of local businesses here in Fountain Hills, Arizona, that were asking me, hey, can you do something different for us? That we're wasting too much money on all this marketing that's not working. And so that's where the vision kind of started. And then before I knew it, we started expanding into many different markets, Chicago, Colorado, California, Texas. And the word spread about just some of the different things that we were doing. And I try to think of stuff from perspective of attention deficit disorder. So I try to get stuff that's going to keep people's attention and grab their interest, and fun stuff to play with, fun stuff to look at, and interactive. And from there, it just kind of exploded into what can you do that's new? We've seen it all. And so I started thinking of outside the box of different ways to spend companies' dollars wisely, because as a small business myself, there was no one there to help me understand what to do as a small business. And so I started thinking from a small business perspective, how much money do they have towards marketing? They all want to grow, but they don't know how to spend that money. And coming from a perspective of respect and honor, I'm not going to spend your dollars unwisely. And if something's not working, I'm going to be the first to own it. There's been several times where I've said, hey, this didn't work, and I'm not going to bill you for it. Simply because I want to have a vested interest in growing a company and show that I honor them in that scenario. So maybe a little old school like that. I don't know.
Well, I beg to differ. I don't know if it's old school, but it's refreshing. You and I have become really close friends through this process. And that to me is pretty invaluable, to actually know someone the way that you and I have just gotten to know each other over the last couple months. And it shows what a type of person you are. and a business owner, to have that personal connection and to reach out. And that has meant a lot to me. And I feel very fortunate. And I bet your clients feel the same way, that you really genuinely care about them and their business. And to me, that is the recipe for success.
Yeah, just like you said, our friendship has just been, I wish you could see the goosebumps that just popped up on my arm. Our friendship has been amazingly special to me. Even just asking me to do this sort of thing has been unreal, because it's not something that I typically don't market myself. I'm a word of mouth kind of guy. And plus I don't like seeing my ugly face on the TV. So, you're shining bright all the way over here to Colorado. I'm literally looking at it going, woof. But no, I try to take it from a friendship perspective. I think even clients that have come and gone, I think would look and say, hey, he gave it his all, or, if something didn't work or whatever, I'm the first to admit not everything works, and marketing is a process. But I think it's important to know that someone's there thinking about your company at 2:00 in the morning, because I wake up mid thought of, oh my gosh, we could try this, or we could try that. And it weighs heavy on my heart. But when we have the success, it's like winning that football game or winning the wrestling match. You should see how stupid my partner and I over here, we're high-fiving over a $20, something that works for $20, and we're just, pumping our fists of just we're stupid. I mean, let's just call it what it is. We've said we should be filming this full time when we're over here, because it's just idiocy, but we love what we do, and we take the time to really listen to what people want. And then we structure everything individually. Nothing that we do is a package. It comes from the heart, and we come from a perspective of, we want you to grow and spend your money wisely. I'd rather you spend $1,000 on something else other than marketing if that $1,000 is not needed. And I'll tell you point blank, as a business owner or a business manager, that's truly from the heart.
I agree. Well, it is the little victories, and we do the same thing, and we talked again a couple weeks ago, and after we hung up, when you allow yourself to kind of think outside of the box and be unique, I hung up the phone with you and I called my boss, and I'm like, you know what we have to do? This guy's in Arizona. We need to figure out, for those that are listening, this is really cool. It's the first time we've done this. So we are streaming live on the radio. We're filming here in the studio, and we're filming on the computer. So it's like, I want to make that, like, this guy, John, goes out of his way to help people. And I thought, we are absolutely going to reciprocate and figure out how to boost you in every way. So this is actually very special for all of us, because you get to be on multiple platforms. You're reaching every satellite.
I'm blushing. Again, this is out of my own wheelhouse of putting myself out there. So it's fun to do this with you, and it's really special that I get to do it with such a dear friend. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, I wanted to dive in a little bit. What I love, truly, you are the spearhead, of course, with D4Ward Marketing, but you all kind of encompass a whole bunch of different services. So you have web design, unique marketing, SEO, products, design studio, lead gen. I mean, you are kind of a one-stop shop. If you can think of it, you're going to help. With all those different kind of services, what would you say is kind of your bread and butter, and what makes you stand out?
Well, I think one of the things I think that makes us really truly stand out is kind of a two-part answer, is the creativity. So it's fun to be creative, and when you're creative, it shows on all those different aspects. And when you love what you do, like even designing websites, it's fun because we try to be innovative, and we try to, a lot of customers will send me websites that we love this website, we love that website. And then we say, how can we step it up a notch? So it's the artistic side that really I truly enjoy. And then I also really enjoy taking a small business that does not know what to do. And say, look, here's your plan. Here's what we're going to do. I'll take the bite on some of this stuff to try and show you that it works. And I like showing that ideas work, and when we're creative and have fun, unique, different ideas that inspire the company, because it accelerates the company personnel, knowing that they're getting some investment into what they're doing, and it's just a lot of fun to collaborate. We try to do a very good job of listening and collaborating and structuring things so that everyone feels comfortable, budget-wise, but also, wow, they just knocked it out of the ballpark. And wow, I just texted John at 1 a.m. He just responded because he's a lunatic. You do respond 24/7. I've noticed. I know.
I will ping you at 7 a.m. or 10 o'clock at night. And I'm like, oh, you're just as crazy as me.
I'm just going. It's just so much fun. It's like a baby watching my own company grow, but then seeing my customers grow too. And like I said, you could never be 100%. You're never batting, 1,000, but we try to go above and beyond in everything that we do. We honor our word, and we do the best that we could possibly do. And that's all we can try and do, and you've got to know me. I calls it like I sees it, and try to do everything the honorable way.
Oh, we so appreciate that from one business person to another, and just one human to another. We were talking about that earlier today on our Sunday show, and it is, to talk to people in an ethical, honest, loyal way. It's refreshing. For those that are listening, we're talking with John with D4Ward Marketing. I wanted to have a shout out to your website. So it's D and then the number 4 Ward, WARD.com. So D4Ward.com. Based in Arizona, but you guys help people all around the states. And you can ship all of your products. I know there are different marketing firms, but a huge shout out to you specifically is you all have the most unique products that we've ever seen. And I think you have some there with you. Do you have? And I do. I'm going to have to give this a shout out too. This is what John made for us. These are the coolest things I've ever seen. Tell us in your words, how do you make something like this?
Well, it's laser etched from the bottom, and then it's color filled on the bottom. Those are glass screens. Those are on my 8th or 9th iteration of different unique things. So if you could think of the old days, people used to send out the mouse pads with people's logos on them. Well, a long time ago, I worked for a great marketing firm, and they touched on these charging pads back then. So I have to give them the credit for coming up with the idea. But most of the time, they're just a sticker on top. And over time, the more you lay your phone on it or move it around, it loses something. Well, with the glass being there, it never fades, it never diminishes, and it lights up when it's plugged in and your phone's on it. So it gives it a really unique, cool ring to it. And that one happens to be one of the co-branded ones. These are the ones we do. If that's visible there,
yes.
That where we don't co-brand them, we just simply send them out. And what we'll do is we'll send them out to maybe specific customers that you want to target. And we do a really deep dive when someone says, "Hey, I need to get 20." Let's reach out to 20 CEOs of a certain industry. Well, we have the capability in a very unique way that we extract leads. It's not the normal way. A lot of people pay a lot of money for it. But we do a deep dive into it to find out the hobbies and to find out the interests of the CEOs. So we will literally cater a specific door opening gift for those people. Such as branded drivers. I think I mentioned those to you before. We did $500 tailor-made drivers where we lasered the logo on the head of the driver. So for 18 holes, they're seeing that logo every single time. And what CEO is going to throw away a $500 driver? I don't know too many of them. So we just think of different ways to try and repeat the visibility of a logo or phrase or an individual, that sort of thing. So
this is very cool. I've never seen, and for those that can see this, it is completely smooth. So it's like internally, and I've never seen anything like that. Yeah, and it won't scratch. And you all do this in-house. Is that correct? Okay, no outsourcing.
No, there's actually the small laser etchers were directly behind me next to the mess of coffee that you see over here, because we're working weird hours and we're coffee freaks over here. But that one does a lot of our smaller stuff. We have one that has the capability of doing larger items, but lasering is just one aspect of it. The lasering, well, I'll show this to you too. These we happen to be doing. I probably shouldn't be showing this quite yet because we're doing these as a special gift for the track and field team of Fountain Hills. But then we take their logos and we design a logo onto them. And so these are like the Yeti water bottles that have that insulated coating on the outside. Our lasers will cut through that. We've actually done photos. We can put people's photos on there. We can do it for individuals, and we were going to dabble in the idea for young kids putting their name on there. We could even put a goofy face on for moms so that they know which kid gets what bottle. And we just try and think of very, very different things that'll last. And this is one of those things where you think of teenage kids. This is subtle enough to where they're not going to be embarrassed to have this sitting down on, and say, "Oh my gosh, there's your name on there," So we try and think of every aspect of not getting mocked at. So,
I love it. Well, yeah, you said things that last. I was thinking, yeah, this is high quality, very unique items that no one else can think of. With other marketing products, I notice, like you said, it's sometimes stickers, and even when they do laser or etching, it's on top, and so it wears after a while. And this one doesn't. It stays vibrant and. It's almost, they're indestructible. So it's very high quality stuff.
It sounds kind of nuts, but I've literally taken these and dropped them on the desk over and over and over again and replugged them back in, because I don't want to send something for a customer of mine to a potential client that they're going to plug in and it doesn't work after the third time. So we go out of our way of trying to find stuff that is very, very durable. So I'm very, very picky of what we choose to use and what we'll put out there, because if I won't put my own name on there, I'm not putting it out there for your company. It's just not going to happen.
That is awesome. Thank you for taking the time. For those listening on the radio, we're going to take a quick music break for our radio listeners. And we will be back here in a couple minutes. Again, we are talking with D4Ward Marketing with John all the way from Arizona. We are broadcasting live. So we have video and radio. So stay tuned, and we will be back here in a couple minutes. Welcome back, everybody listening in. Thank you for tuning in to a special K4CO Radio Sunday edition. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. And to celebrate, we have John with us from D4Ward Marketing. Again, for those tuning in, listening on the radio, this is super special today. We have, we're recording online, streaming on the radio, and also recording live in the studio. So we are hitting all of our media outlets that we possibly can. So thank you, John, again for joining us remotely all the way from Arizona, talking about your pretty amazing, unique, out-of-the-box marketing company. We had talked a little bit about your products, but I know you all really focus on web design, marketing design. You were talking about that it's more, social media is a piece of it, but having a really interactive, sorry, this is the joy of technology. You get it all. You get it all connected. You get it all with the interactive web design. Can you go into someone like me that's very novice and doesn't know about that?
Yeah. So in my opinion, and we kind of touched on this before, social media is very, very saturated. It's a free place to market. And then when there's paid advertisements, in my opinion, those even get overplayed. So when you're thinking about marketing, it kind of circles back. It starts with the website, because having an interactive website that people want to interact with, play with, is critical. And that's something that's easy to put on social media. Hey, just go to my website. And so when we think about things, we look at the data that tells us things. It tells us, data always tells a story. And so we can look at a particular vertical of what traffic goes to what. If traffic goes to social media more, we're going to create a campaign around social media and then build out from there. If it's more booking online and booking things through a website, well, we think about that too. And we think about, well, what's the easiest way to do things? What's going to make it so a person who is on the fence is going to say, you know what, I'll just go ahead and book it and we're ready to rock and roll. So we try and think things through from a data perspective first, and then we build out from there, whether it's geofencing, different specific marketing to a specific target in a specific area, we can do that. Or is it something that we need to do a broad reach? Are we trying to reach more, of the state, maybe a few states, whatever it might be? So we try and think about it from that perspective, and we listen to what the customer says to us of what their goal is. So we do a discovery meeting with every customer that we do to try and learn what their true goal is. I mean, a lot of people say, hey, I need to grow my business. Well, there's a lot of moving pieces to growing a business. Are you ready for it? Do you have the personnel? Do you have the space? Do you have the merchandise? Whatever it is that you're doing, we want to listen to it. And if you say, you know what, I need to hire 2 more people. I don't have 2 more people. Well, launching a humongous campaign right now is going to put you in an awkward spot to where you are failing your current customers. So you got to take care of who your customers are first and then build out from there. And that's even lessons learned on my own business. There have been times where I've grown too fast and I've lost perspective and I've hurt the existing customers. So I learn from my own mistakes to try and make sure my other small businesses don't make those same mistakes I have done. And I try and do it from for lack of a better word, fatherly perspective of thinking, okay, this is my specialty. Let me teach you in the ways that I have maybe failed or struggled with or what have you as a small business, so that you don't make those same mistakes.
I think that's awesome. I think we well, as humans, but especially in small business or in big business, I don't think it really matters. Is a lot of times you throw things up on the wall and see what sticks. Yeah. But I think a lot of times with a small business, not only are you trying lots of different avenues, but we here at the radio station, of course, we try a lot of different outlets and see what works. But sometimes you think, wow, we're not staffed for that. Or, yeah, we're going a little bit not as organically as we hoped, or, it's all these different things. So really listening to the person and their needs and to manage expectations, I think is also a big piece of it, to say, hey, do you really want 50 new clients in a month? Like, can you really handle it? And where do you want them? So to have those goals kind of managed, maybe makes things a little more fluid.
Like you said, I want 50 new clients. Well, when you ask that question from a different perspective of how are you going to take care of those 50 clients? Because every client should be treated as your one and only client. And that's the way I try and approach things. And so we put together, we'll help lay out a plan. And like you said, manage the expectations of, okay, this doesn't happen overnight. This is a process. Sometimes we are not going to do something that we don't know or have seen stuff that has worked. We will try stuff out of the box. And when we do that, a lot of times I'll bite the bullet and say, hey, I'm going to try it with 10 customers on my dime. And that way you're not put out. And if it works, then we move forward. And that way it shows that I have a vested interest in what I'm proposing to do. I don't think there's any other marketing company out there that's going to say, hey, I'm going to do something on my own dime. I do that quite a bit, much to my people's dislike of that. But I think it's important to let your customers know. And I think you've probably heard me say this before. I pretty much refer to most of my customers as family. And I try to think of them that way, of treating them like brothers and sisters, cousins, that kind of thing, where you really want to make them feel good about the money they're spending, because a lot of times they've spent money, good money after bad money, throwing stuff against the wall that didn't work. And almost every client, especially small business client that I take on, says, I've spent thousands and I don't even know if I'm getting return on investment. And so we put together that package that shows the return so that they can look at it and go, okay, this brought us in $2,000 this month. Great. That paid for John and then some, whatever it is. But we try to do it budget friendly and from a perspective that they're not getting taken advantage of. And like I said, I'll bite the bullet and do stuff on my own dime.
Yeah. You hit on so many important things that I am absolutely in unison with you. I mean, you have to look at, your ROI, but to treat people like family is so important. I think that piece also gets missed in a lot of businesses. Is you become a number or a dollar sign, and it no longer, you don't care about the person. And I agree, every person that we have that's a part of our K4CO family is so important to us, because they bring something that no one else is doing, and it's to match people up and say, you'd be a great referral partner, or go look what John can make for you. Like, you aren't going to find this anywhere else. That to me is what, again, business is about, is to develop these relationships that are honest and authentic, and seeing where they go. The other thing I loved what you said was we are all in kind of the same in the marketing world, that it doesn't happen overnight. I think we are in a society of instant gratification, and we want to see results tomorrow. And I understand that. I'm a human and I want to see it tomorrow, but the realistic expectation is it takes time. It doesn't happen tomorrow or even next week. Sometimes it takes a couple months or a year. I was curious with your marketing with web design. So when I hear that, again, I am not in the worlds like you are. I'm not immersed in all of this, but I have heard, CEO and like Google Analytics and pay-per-click and all of that. So is there a way that you all personally kind of approach this to see the better ROI results?
Yeah, we take all that data and put it into a simple, digestible format. So to most people, I mean, there's so many different analytics out there. There's so many different things that you can look at. And Google Analytics is one of many different pieces that we put together. And so what we try and do is make it so it's digestible. To a person that a CEO might be very, very strong in a lot of different areas, but they don't know marketing. They don't understand it. And so we try to put it we try to make them understand the dollars that they're spending are going towards this, going towards that. And when you start to break it down in an easy, compassionate, is, for lack of a better word, a compassionate way of trying to understand, because not everyone's techie. I'm not techie. I'm probably dumb as a box of rocks, to be perfectly honest with you. But we try to make it so, I mean, if I can understand it, I think most people can understand it, because it's something where when I first started doing this, my best friend of 40 years sits behind me on any normal day. And, he's very techie, and he gets frustrated because I don't get the techie stuff. I'm the creative.
Right.
And so when he breaks it down for me, then I can say, okay, we can send this out to our customers. They understand what we're doing, and they can see that those dollars start to trickle in. It might start out with $2 or $3, but then it starts to grow and grow and grow. And it's a seed that just starts to blossom into this beautiful floral arrangement. And that's what we like to see, is just seeing it grow and grow. And I like to tell a lot of my smaller businesses, I would love for the day where you outgrow me. That you need a larger marketing firm, or you start to do stuff in-house to where you have a marketing, and I try to set them up successfully with documentation and understanding of what it takes to do a proper marketing campaign. And then once they understand that and they see that the dollars are not being wasted on my fishing trips or, stuff like that, maybe my son's college fund. We'll see how that goes. But rates might be going up here very, very soon if he decides to go to the University of Washington. So we'll see.
Well, here's a plug for Colorado. I just kind of,
we
shove them a little. I know.
We were there.
What is kind of for D4Ward Marketing, what is your ideal customer or client? Is there a certain size that you're looking for? Is it all over the board?
It is. We are not size specific. But we will do a meeting with the clients to make sure we're a fit on both sides. And when I say that, I mean, I want to make sure that I'm partnering up with someone that I can put my own name behind, that I'm proud to represent. I don't want to take a company on that's maybe has some bad reputations, or I will help those companies, and I will help, especially if they come to me in a sense of, look, we got some bad reviews. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm talking about unscrupulous type stuff. But if someone comes to me and says, hey, we got a bunch of bad reviews, how do we fix that? We put together a process of how to fix that. But we make sure that we're a fit, because if I'm going to put my name behind you, I want you to be proud to say my name too. I don't want you to be embarrassed that you took on D4Ward as your marketing company. I want you to be proud of the fact and look at stuff that we do and say, I'm really proud of this. And again, we're not the only company that does these. I think you can get these on Vistaprint, but they're not this. They're not what I do. They're just similar in nature. And I mean, we're not recreating the wheel over here, but we do try and take stuff and think outside the box of how to make it special for those particular customers. I think we're about to start to co-brand some bolts. It's a nail. Okay. It's a fastener company. And we thought about taking some of the larger bolts and laser etching them with the company name and putting them onto a plaque so that they could sit on their desk with their names on them, stuff like that. So we just try and think of different ways to come up with some really unique ways to market people on a dime.
I love it. I've owned my own business, my dog training business, for 11 years. And from using different marketing people and companies, your company is out of the park. There's no comparison with what they do, because I am a $, and they don't care honestly about quality. It is you pump it out and you're going to get what you get. And you really care about the clients, and it shows in your products and your services. So again, it goes down to how you treat everyone that you're working with. It is, I want you to be like special and know that you are taken care of and you're my family, it's so true in business. Like if I'm not helping you, then why are we in this, and how can I help you succeed? And that's how we succeed. So I think I love that approach.
It's fun. It's really creative. I have the Chamber of Commerce here in Fountain Hills as one of my clients, and we created the creative for a campaign we have 2 humongous art fairs, some of the biggest in the country out here. Well, they wanted something different and unique, and we created, I'll just tear it off my wall. I wasn't going to do this, but we created this little campaign where you can see the fountain in the background, but it was this, for whatever reason, this wagon popped up into me with the flowers and different stuff, because it's a market. And so they loved the idea, with the concept. So we presented that, and we were sitting in the meeting, and I said, how cool would it be to have a real wagon like that? And they looked at me and go, are you insane? And so I went out, I bought an old beat up wagon, and I was working till about 2:00 in the morning before the art fair started, out there painting in a parking lot, the orange. And I was trying to get a canopy that matched that and that sort of thing. And I rolled it out to the Avenue of the Fountains. Nice. And we put it right in the middle of that. And the chamber came out there. They're like, oh my gosh, here it is in real life. And people were literally stopping to take pictures with this orange, ugly old wagon that I put together out there with flowers on it.
That's awesome.
So it's little stuff like that we just, it'll just come to me. And then like I said, my partner Adam, he looks at me and goes, you're an idiot. God.
The next time someone says you're insane, you say, I'm a marketing genius, is what that is. Coming up with things that no one else would.
Yeah.
Well, hang tight. We're going to take a quick radio break here. Again, for those listening, we have John with us from D4Ward Marketing, and you can find his website at D4Ward.com. That's D, the number 4, word.com. And I'm also going to put your number out here in case people want to call you. It's 480-485-8877, and they can help you with web design and unique products. They are a one-stop shop with marketing and kind of handle it all. So, John, hang tight. We're going to be right back. We're going to play a quick tune for you. Hey, everybody. Thank you for listening to a special K4CO radio edition. We have John with us from Arizona. He is broadcasting live all the way, and which is really cool. Thank you so much for coming on, telling us more about D4Ward Marketing. I love what you all do. Truly, you are such a wonderful human being. You are. I said this during our breaks. Our radio listeners didn't hear, but you are such a great human being. You know, thank you for sharing about your life, and you do so much outside of your company for your community, and of course your family. And so I just thank you. I feel so honored to be on the other side of this, and I'm going to hold you to it now that we're live. So for anyone that's listening, good old John is going to fly here and go jump out of an airplane with us on the 1st of June. So. Now I'm really holding you to it. Once it goes live on the radio.
Now I'm locked in.
You're locked. Signed, sealed, and delivered. So, I mean, that's the type of, relationship we have that we're like, we're going to go do this together. So
we're doing it.
It's pretty special.
Game on.
Absolutely. Game on. I told you that's my favorite combat song to do combat. Game face on. Here we go. Well, I know with your marketing business, we touched on all the unique products that you offer, services, web design. Is there anything else, I know you offer quite a bit, that you wanted to touch on that really makes you all stand out, even more so than what we've covered?
Well, we kind of think of different ways to attract the person, the demographic, whatever it is. We think of different ways to try and market to them. That could be something like creating a mailing. But we don't just do a mailer. We do something where it's interactive, meaning we want it to be attractive enough that the people are either going to open the envelope or look at the postcard or whatever it is. So everything we do, we think of from the perspective of, if I got this in the mail, or if I looked at this on a website, would I like it? And we're not always right, because, some things I like, some things you don't like, but we try to think from that. And we do a lot of thinking and asking. We have a lot of friends up here. I'm very tied in with the community out here. I'll even ask some of the kids that I coach, do you like this website? And they're like, no, that's dumb. Why would you do that? And then, there are other times where we put out publications, on social media, and we'll try and get feedback from that, from our own internal circles, to say, does that attract you? So it's real people responding. It's not just a survey online or what have you. We're asking the question of, does this attract you? And like when you went to my website today, I got goosebumps, and you're like, man, I love this little water effect. Well, that was special because, like I told you before, that was kind of a dream. And we made it come to life. And so we kind of joke around about being those Disney animators and creators and stuff like that. Well, we're the D4 creators. It doesn't sound as attractive as Disney, but we try and think of stuff that's just going to be fun. And we've been blessed with great clients, and so it's nice to be able to help out the smaller businesses and have some fun with them, and bring them into the family and just watch them grow. That's it.
That's awesome. Yeah. For those listening, please go to his website, d4ward.com. It's like floating in a dream. It's really cool. You move your cursor over, and it's this lovely, fluid, very bright colored waterfall. It's
Yeah, we're still working the kinks out of trying to make that work on mobile. There's a lot of moving pieces that go to building a website and mobile connectivity. That's why it's only with the cursor right now on your laptop or desktop. But we will have that for mobile soon.
That's very cool. I wanted to show this again for those that are actually tuning in and looking at that. So this is, I hope you can see that okay. So it is an etched on, and it's a pad for your, well, it's not really even a pad. What do you call these? I call them a pad. This is how old school I am. Yeah, it is a charging pad. Okay, good.
Yeah, that is a charging pad. They plug in with the USB on the back side of those, and once your phone lays onto that, cool. Then it'll light up and change colors and stuff like that, and we can program the coloring to match your colors and stuff like that. So we do subtle stuff to illuminate that. We are doing branded Keurigs for one company, where we're actually lasering the logo on the top of the Keurig. So every time they make a cup of coffee, they see their logo, and they're sending those out as door openers. We're doing these really nice Stanley toolboxes for a realtor. So so every time they sell a home, they're bringing these toolboxes into these new homeowners. It's for new homeowners, first-time homeowners. And there's a hammer and a screwdriver and some other stuff. But every time they open up that toolbox, their little logo is right there. So the next time they need to sell a house or someone asks for a reference, oh my gosh, call up John Smith, And so we just try and think of cool stuff that we would want to use and need. And charging pads are the easiest thing because my phone's always dead. I mean, heck, I've got mine plugged in right now because I don't have a charging pad plugged in. I unplugged them to show everyone there. So now I have my phone plugged in. So
that's awesome. Well, I know you can't see this, but Josh, the president of K4CO, is literally like nodding his head, and his eyes got really big when you started talking about the Keurigs. Like, this is what I'm talking about. You think so outside of the box. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to absolutely do that. I can't wait.
So those are so cool. So what we're doing is we're lasering the top of them, so it etches it out, and then we're using a ceramic paint to fill in, so that it'll never come out, and it'll have that glossy look. And they're on the brushed or the stainless look Keurigs. And then for another one, we're actually doing it. They have the plastic. And I'm sorry we don't have these yet. They're in the process of being made. But on the water jug thing, the separate container that you go to fill up, well, we put the logo on that too, very subtly. We burnt the logo onto it, so it shows up when the water's inside there. So you don't see it until the water goes in, and then once the water goes in, it changes color.
That is so awesome. Yeah. Will you please send us pictures of that, or we're going to get you back on the one. Oh my gosh. John, you're insanely amazing. Okay. The only way that I'm getting it is when you come out to go skydiving, I'm paying for you to go jump out of this plane, because this is super special that you're doing this. I
hope we don't charge by the pound, because
Uh-oh. Okay.
Yeah.
So I want a couple drops of water in there, or should I go the opposite way and say I want 50 tons?
If they start charging by the pound for us to go skydiving, we're doomed.
Oh gosh, I was going with the water on that one. No. I have a feeling you're gonna be A-okay. Yeah, and you have. I mean, it's very cool. I know we're talking about your company, but you're a firefighter. You're a volunteer firefighter. Super involved in the community. You're a coach for your kid. I mean, it's just, there's so much, I have to mention this because it's a testament to who you are, and it's like, oh, sorry. I do. I find it fabulous how involved you are. You're a family guy. You care about your clients. You care about your community, and it so shows. I was instantly just drawn to you, thinking this is such a good guy. I want to work with him and want to talk with him. So I thank you for everything that you're doing with everyone. I know your clients are super lucky, and your family and kiddos. So I
appreciate that. Firefighting's in my blood. I did it for many moons, and just recently was invited to be part of a volunteer fire department again. I'm actually doing some marketing for them to help do fundraising for a new fire engine. You know, those small departments, it's a struggle to get those, and we're going to be doing some big giveaways to try and raise funds for them. So that sort of marketing, I'm never going to charge a fire department a dime to do anything that I'm doing for them. And, it's very near and dear to my heart. I'm not a full-time fireman anymore. It's hard to pay the bills on a firefighter salary. And so I love firefighters. I love police officers, and I would move a mountain for any one of them if they asked for anything. Those are my brothers and sisters. And they are the heroes of this world. Military, police, fire. My company would do anything for any one of those, and I would do anything for them. And then when it comes to coaching, well, I fell in love with coaching a long time ago, but now being the high school coach is pretty special, very, very special, because you're helping shape young adults. And so it's even different than when I used to coach the kids at a young age, when you're getting kids that are struggling with certain things and, maybe struggling with grades or home life is a challenge. The stability is that sport that they're playing. And so looking up to a coach that's stable and fun and just, I'll put it this way. I remember the coaches I hate and I remember the coaches I loved. And any coach in between there kind of gets a little cloudy. So I always want to be the coach that they loved.
Isn't that true? Well, we totally, over here at K4CO, we absolutely agree with everything you said about our first responders. It's why we're teamed up with Foundation 1010. We love what they do, all of our cops and firefighters, and we're teamed up with TAPS, which is Tragedy Assistance, to help people with, survivors of the military. So we're right there with you. Anyone that would help someone so selflessly and humbly and graciously with compassion. And I was a lacrosse coach for girls in high school. And boy, I hope I made a good imprint. It's very fascinating to be involved in those kids' lives. Yeah, you just think you're at such a pivotal point, and now it's time to make that mark and hopefully be a great influence in a lot of ways. It's more than just being a coach or a small business owner or a dad. It's how do you become a good person? Yeah,
because I've failed 1,000 times over my life. So I've done stupid things. I've done smart things that didn't work, but I've failed many, 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 many times. And the one thing that I try and teach the kids is that's what creates the characters. Is the failure is what shapes you and how you respond to it as a person, as a human being, as a kind, loving, giving person. And the one thing I wanted to show my kids more than anything is that giving is way more rewarding than receiving. So I don't look at how much I can charge a client. It's more of how can I help them grow and succeed. And like I said, wins and fails, but we try to learn from every one of them and do it the right way.
So true. So true. Well, thank you again for those that are listening. We've been talking with John from D4Ward Marketing. Again, you can find his information at d4ward.com. You can email him at info@d4ward.com or call him at 480-485-8877. And of course, we will have all of his information on our Facebook site and on our website. So thank you, John. It has been such a privilege, and happy Sunday to you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored. Thank you.